And so there's brain drain and there's brain gain. The thing, and this is what I say about migration.
Yeah, so guys, welcome to the channel. Okay, human being from the time immemorial has been very mobile. Yeah, that's the word of president of Ghana, John Mahama. Okay, speaking on diaspora town hall meeting, hosted by President John Mahama in UK. President John Mahama emphasized on immigration specifically, because of what is happening in South Africa, now he needed to touch migration. According to him, migration is part of life. Migrating from one place to the other is part of life. And according to him, human beings are mobile. Yeah, they can move from one place to the other at ease. Chinese people migrate, Africans migrate, Americans migrate. Movement, there must be a movement. Constantly, there must be a constant. It's in the nature of human race to migrate. You migrate from Nigeria to Ghana, you start life. And from there, you are likely to become maybe by birth you are in Nigeria, but if you are likely to get married here and give birth, and your children will be Ghanaians, So, but migration must be, there must be a migration. So why will you now be hating people, chasing people out, asking them to go home, to go back home? Simply because they are in your country. Nah. If they are in your country people are also in their country. I think that's it. President John Mahama is one leader in Africa who always speak about African politics. He always speak about African sovereignty, dignity of Africa, Pan-Africanism. Yeah, he always speak about how to make the continent better, be self-sufficient, make good use of our resources. He's good at that, promoting Africa. And he's so worried how South Africans are chasing their fellow brothers, to go home, to go back to their country, thus making these statements. There must constantly, as long as there is life, there must be migration. Migrating from one place to the other must happen. Anyway, he made this statement in the diaspora town hall meeting he had, with Ghanaians and I think some African people. We are also there. And they said a lot of things how to make the continent, the country, Ghana better, invest and develop home, because these are people in UK. So you must find a way to also support home when you are in UK or you are in abroad. Anyway, this is going to be a long video, a long series of video. Just calm down, watch to get all the details discussed in the town hall meeting. But this one is not town hall, different from Bala Blue. Anyway, see you at the end.
Now that I have 10% interest, I'll run and buy my own. So Fidelity, register me number 1. Consolidated Bank. GCB, please be ready for us. GCB. I have 6 minutes. So I'm sharing for you.
Good evening to you all. We are from Consolidated Bank. I'm standing for our Deputy Managing Director in the name of Madam Florence Ade. Has been caught up in the traffic. Consolidated Bank, because of the essence and the more importance of diaspora, we have set a department for that. We have a whole department made up of 10 to 15 people who are managing diaspora. And from time to time, they come, they reach out to churches here, to professionals here, to ensure that we deliver the diaspora concept. My DMD is coming. Ade, please come. Let's give a round of applause to the DMD of Consolidated Bank, Madam Ade. So she will take it up from here with a specialized place. Madam, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. There's a lot of security outside, and so they prevented me from coming, and I said, absolutely not. I will come and I will speak. So pardon me. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our ministers, distinguished clergy, Anananum, my name, excuse me, my name is Florence Ade Ohene, and I am the Deputy Managing Director of Consolidated Bank, Ghana. I'm going to take a moment to breathe because I ran through here because they were trying to prevent me from coming. Ooh. Okay. It is my distinct pleasure to be here to share with you some information about CBG and our diaspora. I'm going to wait a second. Yes, okay. Should I wait? Hello, thank you. I wanted to make sure I showed proper respect as our boss is here also. So again, it is my distinct pleasure to share with you some information about CBG and our diaspora banking services. Now, I'm honored to be here for a number of reasons. First of all, I am a diaspora myself. I was born in Ghana, left Ghana over 30 years ago, lived in the US, schooled, lived in the US, and returned to Ghana about 10 years ago. So when we talk about diaspora, it's something that is very personal to me and something that I take very dearly. So in the interest of time, I'm going to share with you a few things. Many of us, when we talk about diaspora, we talk about returning home. The question is, how do we begin to establish a banking relationship from the comforts of our home right here in the UK or any place else? At CBG, we made that possible for you. You don't have to travel all the way just to establish your banking relationship. Many of us have family members that we're taking care of. We have friends and family that we help. We also may want to make sure that when we return home, we have services, banking services that we have at our fingertips to work. CBG is able to make that possible for you. So for today, we're actually able to help you open an account right here from UK, from the comforts of your home, any place you want. We can open an account for you. As I mentioned, many of you help family members all the time. So we've made that very easy. To open an account with CBG, we have three things. We have our team here, we have our cards. You can actually scan the QR codes on our cards, and it will enable you to open an account with us right here today. We had a session yesterday, and some people asked me, well, Ade, when we open an account, we also want to be able to make sure we have all the services that come along with it. How do we do that? In addition to opening your account, we also have access to your ATM cards, your debit cards. All that is available to you today, even from the comforts of your seat. For those of you that are able and willing to start, we're able to help you do that. We have our team here ready to start to help you with that. When we have our mobile app, you can also sign on to our mobile app. So again, at CBG Consolidated Bank Ghana, we've made it easy for you to help establish your banking relationship. So please see as our team, we have a table outside. We're more than happy and able to help you. And please see us and we can answer any questions you have for us. Again, my name is Florence Ade Ohene. I'm with Consolidated Bank Ghana, and we're here to make it easy for you to establish your banking relationship and to get everything started before you even get to Ghana. I thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Seamless. So anybody who need bank accounts, just go And then use the QR code, you get bank account today, and then your your debit card. So easy. I'm being given just 10 minutes, so I'll call District Assembly Common Fund. 5 minutes. It's okay. President, okay. Okay. Thank you. Quick announcement. GCB is also at the back, and we have a number of real estate companies at the back. Our time is up, so we can continue. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Shall we please rise? It is my honor to announce the arrival of the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we remain standing? Shall we please remain standing for the national anthem of Ghana? Thank you very much. To lead us in the opening prayer for today's town hall event, please join me to welcome on stage Reverend Samuel Ohene Apreku. He's a head pastor of this very spectacular edifice we're in here today, the Dominion Center.
Let us pray. Shall we please be upstanding, please, and give reverence to the Almighty God. Almighty God, our Father and Sustainer of all nations, we come before you today with hearts full of gratitude, gathered here at the Dominion Center for this important town hall meeting. We thank you for preserving our beloved nation, Ghana, and for your continued grace upon us. Lord, we thank you for granting us this unique opportunity to dialogue, share, and deliberate together in peace and unity. We ask for your presence to fill this place. Let your wisdom, peace, and spirit of understanding rest upon every heart here today. We especially lift up the President of Ghana, our President, His Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, to you. Clothe him with your wisdom, strength, and guidance as he leads our nation. Grant him clarity of mind, compassion of heart, and boldness to serve with integrity. Bless his words and his listening ear today, that this engagement may foster trust, progress, and mutual understanding for the good of all Ghanaians. Bless all citizens, officials, and stakeholders gathered here. Remove every spirit of division, anger, or confusion. Replace it with respect, openness, and a shared commitment to build a prosperous and united Ghana. May this town hall meeting be fruitful, peaceful, and purposeful, one that honors you and advances the welfare of our people. We commit this gathering, our president, and our nation into your loving hands. In Jesus' mighty name we prayed. Amen. God bless you. Mr. President, you are welcome to Dominion Center. God bless.
Thank you very much, Pastor Sam. Your Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, Ministers of State from Ghana and the UK, Members of Parliament from Ghana and the UK, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Pandit Esiama, Your Excellency Saba Zita Benson, Ghana's High Commissioner to the UK and Ireland, Her Worshipful, the Mayor of Haringey, Councillor Dawn Barnes, the delegation from the British High Commission, Accra, and the Foreign and Commonwealth Development Office, our religious leaders, our traditional and community leaders, heads of department at the Ghana High Commission UK, my fellow Ghanaians, friends of Ghana, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, this would not be a proper Ghanaian event if I skipped the famous line that we all love and know, all protocols duly observed. Obake, nyehe, wezo, bakadazua, akwaba. Welcome. My name is Linda Wayo, and it is an honor for me to serve as your host this evening. It's my greatest honor to welcome you to this historic Ghana Diaspora Town Hall meeting here in London. It's not just anywhere in London though, ladies and gentlemen. It's the current home of the enviable Premier League trophy, North London. Now let me begin by thanking all the Arsenal fans here today, the mighty Gunners, for sacrificing what is indeed a very loud victory parade today in order to be here for Mother Ghana. That must have been an incredibly difficult decision for you to make, because opportunities to celebrate the Premier League title doesn't come around every year. I know that sometimes it takes 22 solid years. Yet you chose Mother Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, now that for me is sacrifice, that is commitment, and that certainly is patriotism. If anybody deserves a national honor tonight, it might as well be the Arsenal fans, the Arsenal supporters here tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause. They sacrificed their victory parade and reported for national duty instead. Having said that though, commiserations for last night. God knows we wouldn't have had the end of it if you had won that Champions League title as well. Tonight is deeply significant because it's more than just a town hall meeting. This is Ghana meeting one arm of her global family. It's a family meeting tonight. A conversation between home and the diaspora. A recognition that although many of us live abroad, work abroad, raise families abroad, and sometimes even end almost every sentence with "in it." And yes, while our accents may have shifted a little bit, Mr. President, please permit me to assure you that when it comes to our root, the reset kicks in. And with pride, we are able to say, Kokomlemle. And we can also say, Adabraka. If you know, ladies and gentlemen. After the president's famous reminder at a diaspora town hall meeting in America recently, I think it's only right that we become very intentional about preserving our local Ghanaian pronunciations. Now that is identity, and tonight celebrates that identity. It celebrates the Ghanaian diaspora not simply as spectators from afar, but active stakeholders in Ghana's future, contributing through investment, innovation, remittance, advocacy, expertise, and influence across the world. And to top it, our president officially declared the diaspora as the 17th region. We say thank you very much, Mr. President. My fellow diasporas, that certainly deserves a massive round of applause in appreciation to our dear president. And what a beautiful sight it is to behold tonight, to see the vibrant Ghanaian colors, to see our mini Ghana flags. Before we get the ball rolling, I want us to do something to remind ourselves, to give ourselves a feel of home. So if you have your Ghana flag, please have it up and wave. Ghana, 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 oh say yeah. Ghana, 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 oh say yeah. Ghana, oh yeah. Ghana, oh say yeah. I think we can do better. Let's go on our feet, ladies and gentlemen. Up on your feet. Ghana, 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 oh say yeah. Ghana, 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 oh say yeah. Ghana, oh yeah. Ghana, oh say. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats. Thank you for indulging me. Once again, thank you for joining us for this important evening. Tonight, we are privileged to have our president with us. He's chosen to engage directly with the diaspora community, to listen, to share, and to strengthen the partnership between Ghana and Ghanaians here in the UK. Your Excellency, we are honored to have you. Before we proceed to our first speaker, let's just observe some housekeeping rules. Kindly keep your mobile phones on silent or vibrate, and please minimize movement during presentations. The ladies and gents are also located right at the back of the auditorium through the double doors behind you. To deliver the official welcome address, I'd like to welcome our host extraordinaire, affectionately known as HE by the diaspora. I'm sure you all attest to the fact that she hit the ground running from day one of London in London. No pun intended. With intentionality and warmth, she remains deeply connected to the UK Ghanaian diaspora. One thing I can tell you about her, ladies and gentlemen, is that she is present, she's engaged, and she's truly part of her people. So, with a round of applause, please join me to welcome on stage Her Excellency Saba Zita Benson, Ghana's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom and Ireland.
Thank you, UK. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, honorable ministers of state, and members of parliament of both Ghana and the UK, the Bank of Ghana Governor, distinguished members of the diplomatic corps, Nananom traditional leaders and community leaders, Ghana Union, esteemed members of the Ghanaian diaspora, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And good afternoon to those of you up there as well. It is with great esteem and a deep sense of responsibility that I address this distinguished gathering at the Ghana Diaspora Town Hall meeting here at the Dominion Center in London. The high-powered presence of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, ministers, senior state functionaries, and business leaders at this engagement is symbolic. It reflects a forward-looking commitment to strengthening the relationship between the state and its citizens abroad, while affirming the indispensable role of the diaspora in national development. Mr. President, permit me, on behalf of the Ghanaian diaspora gathered here today, to extend our sincere appreciation for your leadership and your continued commitment to fostering inclusive national engagement beyond Ghana's territorial boundaries. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ghanaian diaspora occupies a uniquely strategic position within the broader architecture of Ghana's socio-economic advancement. Throughout the United Kingdom, and indeed the global community, Ghanaians have established themselves with distinction in a wide range of professional and intellectual domains. Their contributions continue to shape intellectual discourse, institutional development, economic innovation, and cultural production, both within Ghana and across the global diaspora. Consequently, contemporary discourse on national development can no longer be confined within geographical limitations. Increasingly, the development trajectory of nations is shaped not only by domestic policy frameworks, but also by the productive engagements of their global citizens. It is therefore commendable that under the leadership of His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, Ghana continues to pursue policies aimed at economic revitalization, digital transformation, infrastructure, expansion, industrial growth, and investment promotion. These policies directions are contributing to Ghana's repositioning as a competitive and emerging economic actor at the African continent and in the wider international community. Particularly noteworthy is the government's emphasis on digitalization and institutional modernization, expanded access to public services, and improved opportunities for entrepreneurship and innovation. And equally significant are initiatives directed towards youth empowerment, educational advancement, healthcare improvement, and private sector development, all of which remain central to sustainable natural progress. Mr. President, the diaspora community deeply values the increasing recognition accorded to Ghanaians abroad as critical stakeholders in the nation's development agenda. Such recognition strengthens civic belonging and reinforces the principle that citizenship extends beyond physical residence. This recognition has increasingly found practical expression through the work of the Ghana High Commission in the United Kingdom, which continues to serve not merely as a diplomatic mission, but as a vital bridge between Ghana and its citizens and her citizens abroad. It is my respectful duty to report that the High Commission's commitment to an open door policy has been warmly received across the diasporan community. Through regular stakeholder engagements, community outreach programs, business interactions, welfare consultations, and collaborative partnerships, the mission has fostered a stronger culture of accessibility, dialogue, trust, and participation among Ghanaians living in the United Kingdom. Equally noteworthy have been the significant strides made in the delivery of consular services, the expansion of passport enrollment and processing services, the facilitation of Ghana card registration and issuance, and the continuous efforts to improve administrative responsiveness have positively impacted many Ghanaians abroad. These interventions have brought essential government services closer to the people, strengthened confidence in our institutions, and reinforced the connection between the diaspora and the homeland. Furthermore, through investment facilitation programs, cultural diplomacy initiatives, youth-oriented engagements, and strategic stakeholder partnerships, the High Commission has continued to promote greater diaspora participation in national development, while supporting efforts to attract investments, strengthen bilateral relations, and advance Ghana's interests abroad. These achievements are not merely institutional successes. They demonstrate the practical beliefs of responsive governance and sustained engagement with citizens wherever they may reside. They reflect a shared commitment to ensuring that every Ghanaian, regardless of geographical location, remains an active participant in the national development agenda. Indeed, the success of the High Commission's engagement model provides a useful example of how government institutions can strengthen trust, encourage participation, and create opportunities for meaningful collaboration between the state and its citizens abroad. Furthermore, platforms such as this town hall meeting exemplify the importance of structured dialogue between government institutions and the diasporan communities. They create opportunities for policy engagement, collaborative problem solving, and the exchange of ideas that can contribute meaningfully to Ghana's long-term development goals. Esteemed guests, I would like to draw attention to the forthcoming Ghana-UK Investment Summit, scheduled for 1st and 2nd June 2026, which represents another significant milestone in strengthening bilateral and economic cooperation between Ghana and the United Kingdom. The Ghana-UK Investment Summit is designed to connect businesses and institutions with global investors, promote trade expansion, attract foreign direct investment, facilitate technology transfer, and strengthen institutional collaboration between Ghana and its international partners. Ladies and gentlemen, the responsibility of nation building must necessarily be collective. Governments provide policy direction and institutional frameworks, but enduring national transformation requires the active participation of citizens both at home and abroad. For members of the diaspora, this responsibility is particularly significant. We are not merely observers of Ghana's development, we are participants within it. Our experiences, expertise, global exposure, and transnational networks position us uniquely to contribute towards national advancement. To the younger generation present here today, I encourage you to remain intellectually and emotionally engaged with the future of Ghana. Your innovation, creativity, and global perspective will be essential to shaping the nation's next chapter. Everywhere I go in the United Kingdom, whether in the south or north, I encounter your immense potential, expertise, and enduring passion for the motherland. Equally important is the preservation of our cultural heritage, values, and national identity within future generations of Ghanaians abroad. Distinguished guests, as part of today's engagement, there will be an opportunity for interaction with His Excellency the President. I would therefore respectfully encourage all participants to ensure that their deliberations remain constructive, policy-oriented, and aligned with the broader objectives of national development, economic cooperation, trade facilitation, and investment promotion. While individual concerns relating to passport processing, visa application, and consular matters remain important, I would respectfully encourage participants to engage the appropriate departments of the Ghana High Commission for specific administrative assistance, thereby enabling this platform to focus on substantive policy discussions and strategic national issues. Thank you. By maintaining this distinction, we will be better positioned to utilize this platform effectively for productive national discourse and meaningful engagement. And as we deliberate today, our discussions may move beyond rhetoric towards actionable partnerships, strategic collaboration, and sustained engagement for the collective benefit of our nation. In conclusion, permit me once again to express my sincere appreciation to Your Excellency, the President, senior government officials. I see all my colleagues here, from ministers to governors to everybody, CEOs. Thank you very much for being here. And to all my fellow compatriots for honoring this gathering with your presence. Mr. President, your presence here today sends a strong message about the importance of the diaspora inclusion within Ghana's national development agenda. It resources Ghanaians abroad that their voices matter, their contributions are valid, and their partnerships remain essential to Ghana's future. May this engagement further strengthen the bonds between Ghana and its global citizens, and may it inspire renewed commitment towards the advancement of our beloved nation. May God bless us all. May God bless the Ghanaian diaspora, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency Saba Zita Benson, for that warm welcome. We're especially delighted to be joined by leadership from our host borough here in North London. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage Honorable Bambos Charalambos. He's an MP for Southgate and Wood Green.
Mr. President, Your Excellency, High Commissioner, distinguished guests, parliamentarians, and esteemed members of the community, welcome to my constituency of Southgate and Wood Green, and I should say, Akwaba. My name is Bambos Charalambos. I was born on a Saturday, so I'm told my Ghanaian name would be Kwame. We've had a long-standing positive relationship with Ghana. Ghana got its independence in 1957. In that time, we've had huge partnerships, strong relationship with Ghana, both in trade, both in cultural relations, and obviously with this amazing, vibrant community we have across London. And we have many incredible Ghanaians who have done incredible work in the diaspora. And I just want to acknowledge my friend and fellow parliamentarian, Abena Apong-Asore. Abena, would you mind standing up? Abena is the Member of Parliament for Erith and Thamesmead, and she's also the first Member of Parliament of Ghanaian heritage to become a minister in the UK government. Well done, Abena. The purpose of having a strong relationship is that we all support each other, even when times are hard. And I know that the UK has been working very hard with Ghana, giving support when necessary, encouraging trade. I was told by the International Development Minister that recently Her Majesty's Revenue for Customs was working with the Ghanaian Tax Collection Department, and through them working together, they've managed to collect over £100 million worth of more taxes that will go directly into the Ghanaian coffers, which will benefit the Ghanaian government. And that's just one example of partnership working. There are many more. We have very good trade links, and we want to build on those and encourage them. Ghana is a great place to work and to live. It's a friend of the UK, and we want to build on the strong relationships. And I would just end by saying that there's a very important event on the 23rd of June. That event is England play Ghana in the World Cup in Boston. Ghana and England are both in the same group in the World Cup, and I'll just say that I hope both Ghana and England progress to the later stages. That's all I want to say. you're very, very welcome to Wood Green. Thank you again, Mr. President, for kicking off your town hall and your visit to the UK in Wood Green. You're always welcome. It's a great honour to host you, and the community are a vital part of the community in Haringey and across London. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Kwame. Now, as for that England versus Ghana game, Honourable, I mean, we all want Ghana and England to progress, but for that game, we all know who's going to win it. I would now like to invite to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Her Worshipful, the Mayor of Haringey, Councillor Dawn Barnes. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for her.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Mr. President, and everybody here from the High Commission. That's correct, isn't it? I was going to say Akwaba, but I've already been beaten to that. But what I will say, London, Haringey, Ghana, you look fantastic tonight. I just want to take photos of your wonderful outfits. For once, I feel bland. I have been the Mayor of Haringey for less than 2 weeks, but I've been a councillor here in Haringey for 8 years. And in Haringey, we're one of the most diverse boroughs in London. It's very competitive in London. It is a very diverse city. And it's part of the reason I chose to move here from the north of England, because London is full of everybody. In London, we speak over 300 languages. In Haringey, about 180 languages in quite a small borough, but many people. We have the 5th largest population of Ghanaians, adding to our culture, contributing to our economy, working in our hospitals, working across our borough. And we love the fact that we are Haringey and we have everybody here. We're really looking forward to being the borough of culture in 2027 to 2028. And I very much hope that some of you who are Haringey residents will join us in promoting the great cultures we have across Haringey, in celebrating our languages, our music, our dance, our acting, our food. I've been told I'm not allowed to mention jollof rice. So I won't. So it's wonderful to have you here, to have a town hall in Haringey, in the borough I call home, and hopefully a lot of you call home too, but I'm aware there are people from right across London here today. So very much welcome to Haringey, from all of us who live here, whatever and wherever you may have been once before. I hope this is a very successful town hall and successful talks to follow. I thank you again for having me, and I leave you to whomsoever's next. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Please feel free to mention jollof rice anywhere you go. But before you do that, we will invite you to a special Ghana jollof party. And then after that, when you mention it, you can tell them Ghana jollof is the best. Ladies and gentlemen, we have in our midst some ministers of state from Ghana here to support His Excellency, the President. They will be supporting him during the Q&A session. But for now, please join me to welcome some brief remarks from the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry. She's also the Member of Parliament for Techiman North, Honourable Elizabeth Ofosu Ejari, to deliver her remarks. A round of applause, please.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, anytime you are beating to Akwaba, you also have Obake, so you can learn that one. Your Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, colleague ministers, High Commissioner, MP for Southgate and Wood Green, the Mayor, distinguished traditional and community leaders, esteemed diaspora community, good evening. I'm excited to be at this gathering of proud Ghanaians who continue to lift the Black Star high and have become the envy of the world. We say, Ayeko. You left home, but Ghana never left you. And today, under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ghana is calling you back as partners in the transformation that is already underway. In 16 months, this government, under the visionary leadership of His Excellency the President, has done what many said would take years, and this resonates through what my other colleague and other speakers have highlighted earlier. As part of the reset agenda, the Ministry of Trade and Industry has been aligned to trade, agribusiness, and industry to lead comprehensive reforms to reduce the cost of doing business, attract investors, rejuvenate manufacturing, and address administrative bureaucracies for a thriving trade, agribusiness, and industry sector. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to announce that the manufacturing sector of our country is expanding, with a number of companies increasing their processing lines, installation of new and modern facilities in the food processing, ceramic, beverages, steel, cement, garments, textiles, pharmaceuticals, automotive sectors, just to mention a few. These are being established across the country. It is becoming a norm that every quarter, the President of the Republic of Ghana is commissioning new industrial facility, which is positioning our country as the preferred manufacturing hub in our sub-region. The government is also committed to enhancing the patronage of made in Ghana products through deliberate and targeted policies to expand local competition. Additionally, the realignment empowers the ministry to focus considerable attention and resources on attracting investment into the local production of high-quality raw materials in high demand, especially commercial contract farming for raw materials to feed our value addition to support the accelerated development program chaired by the Excellency himself. The results of this pivot toward value addition are already visible in our non-traditional exports. I'm excited to say, in 2025, Ghana's non-traditional export sector hit a record 5 billion, a 30.7% surge from the previous years. Processed and semi-processed foods drove the growth, contributing 3.09 billion, up by 52.78% from 2024. The private sector has become more competitive in the export market as part of my ministry's engagement with the Bank of Ghana to increase the days of preparation of export proceeds from 60 to 120 days. We say a lot of thank you to the Governor of the Bank of Ghana. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the ministry is therefore committed to ensuring that appropriate policies in the agribusiness, pharmaceutical, garments and textiles, automotive, component manufacturing, special economic zones are passed in the course of the second half of this year. We have moved decisively to build a policy environment that investors require, including the passage of the Ghana Investment Promotion Authority Bill, removing minimum capital requirement for joint ventures and foreign enterprises, introducing industry-specific incentives, establishing an investor grievance mechanism, and codifying protection against expropriation with guarantee-free transfer of capital and unambiguous access to international arbitration. In fact, my mission this evening is very simple. We are inviting you to build wealth alongside our country by investing in the Ghana local market where returns are very competitive and you are assured of a transparent and predictable business environment. I leave the rest for His Excellency. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Trade. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome on the stage Honorable James Jachi Quayson, MP. He's a Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and Member of Parliament for Asin North in Ghana. Please make welcome the Honorable.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and good evening to everyone. I think H.E. Benson, our seasoned ambassador, High Commissioner, have said a lot, as well as our Minister for Trade, my sister Elizabeth Ajari Ofosu. So I'm going to just be brief. First, I'd like to acknowledge our hero here, the Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, Ministers of State, our Governor of the bank, who is holding our wallet, traditional, religious, and community leaders, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go off script because there's a lot being said already, so that we can be brief and Your Excellency can take the stage. I am standing here today, and not too long ago, I was like one of you. I'm sure you all followed my story. So let's take this business of homesetting the diaspora 17th region very seriously. The reason I'm saying this is that during my trial and tribulation times, it took a visionary leader, President Mahama, who was even then in opposition, to tell me, say, Jachi, don't worry. We have plans for the diasporans. And when they threatened me with detention and jail, I remember the famous phrase he used to say in my constituency when we were campaigning for by-election. He says, Jachi Kwesi, Uncle jail in there. Uncle jail in China. He was saying, and you know, I've never said this to him, but it always resonates in my mind. And it's true, it came to light. Today we are here. Diasporans have produced a lot. We have our finance minister who was once a while one of you, Ato Forsen. Myself, I was one of you. In Canada, of course, I used to visit London anyways. But let's take this reset agenda with the new vision that we have for our economy and our country building very seriously, because there's every fundamental set and ready to go. As ministers, the two ministers, the minister and the High Commissioner mentioned, I am very, very confident, and I am everywhere I go, I like to stand, at least give a moment. Even when I do state visits, I like to engage the community, and that is why I felt that it's important for me to be part of you this evening. I want to thank all of you. God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome the man that is making sure that our economy is taking along brilliantly. Ghana's Minister for Finance and Member of Parliament for Ejumako Eyan Esiam, Honorable Kesel Ato Forsen.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. President, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, President Mahama, colleagues, ministers of state, fellow Ghanaians, let me first use this opportunity to inform you that I'm one of you. And London is a home to some of us. Some of us had the privilege to grow up here, and myself, Honorable Kwame Abuja, not long ago used to be members of this chapter until we had the privilege to go back home to serve our country. And so, you can also be one of us if you decide to come home and take part in nation building. But let me say that President Mahama inherited a terrible economy, an economy in difficult times. And colleagues, let me use this opportunity to remind you of some of the things that the country went through back in 2022. Ghana went through a very difficult economic crisis in a lifetime. I do not recall that our country had ever gone through such level of economic crisis. The scale of the crisis was profound. It was extremely traumatic, if not distressful. Our currency, the Ghana cedi, came under intense pressure. It nearly lost its value. Inflation rose to painful levels. Investor confidence deteriorated very sharply. Ghana's external reserves were strained, and Ghana lost access to the international capital market. As a result, the credit rating agencies responded by downgrading Ghana's sovereign rating, and this was repeatedly in 2022 to levels never seen in the country's history. In February 2022, Moody's downgraded Ghana to CAA1. In August, S&P also downgraded us to CCC+. Again, in the same year, August, Fitch also downgraded Ghana to CCC. And in September, Fitch again downgraded Ghana, further down to CC. Finally, in October 2022, Ghana lost access to the international capital market, with Ghana's Eurobond spread widening to all-time levels of over 3,400 basis points. This further deepened the economic and financial crisis to the point that even the Ghana Cocoa Board was unable to secure a syndicated loan for the first time in over 33 years. Also, some domestic and commercial banks could no longer obtain external funding or establish even letters of credit, as international banks declined to confirm these instruments. But the good news is that today our country is back. We are back. President Mahama, upon assuming office, took steps, difficult decisions, some extremely bitter, but in the end, we all recognize that prudence works. But let me share some of the outturn with you. I'm pleased to report that as a result of the measures that President Mahama took, today GDP growth is back. Ghana has recorded a GDP growth of 6% in the year 2025. And most importantly, non-oil GDP growth was 7.6%, the highest in 14 years. For the first time, Ghana's economy has crossed $100 billion United States dollars threshold, making it a fully fledged emerging economy. Ghana's economy is now ranked the 8th largest economy in the entire of Africa. And our GDP per capita is today 3,385 Ghana cedis, US dollars for the first time. I'm also proud to inform you that our debt is now sustainable, unlike the past. Ghana's debt today has moved from unsustainable debt to high risk of debt distress, and finally now to moderate risk of debt distress. Our debt to GDP has declined to now 44.7% of GDP, ahead of the target by 2034. Ghana achieved the debt to GDP level as was originally scheduled by the IMF, that we would have achieved debt to GDP of 45% by 2034. 8 years, we used one single year to achieve that. Inflation has declined from 23.8% in December 2024 to 3.4% in April 2024. The country is now borrowing quite cheaper. In fact, 91 days Treasury bill has declined by 2,300 basis points from 28.4% to now 4.8% in April 2026. Our 2-year, 3-year, and 5-year bonds are now trading at a range of 11 to 12% compared to 25% in previous years. Thanks to the central bank, the monetary policy rate has also declined by 1,300 basis points from 27% in January to now 14% in April. The current account balance recorded a surplus, and this is extremely important. We were seeing persistent current account deficit, but for last year, we saw a current account surplus of 8.3% of GDP in 2025. And this is programmed to achieve double-digit 10% plus by the year 2026, this year. But all of this point to something important. This result affirms that fiscal prudence and discipline always delivers results. And so, to you fellow Ghanaians, I want to assure you that President Mahama's administration is determined to ensure that the gains we have made so far are maintained and are sustained going into the future. Ghana is open for business. We welcome you. Come home and contribute. Very soon, the central bank intends to work with the Ministry of Finance to ensure that the remittance that you bring home are well ensured that this remittance actually hit the balance of payment. The governor informed me that last year, the remittance amounted to over $7 billion United States dollars in 1 year. $7 billion United States dollars. And so we see you as an important partner. We see you as our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, and you still have a role to play in the nation building. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Finance, our fellow diasporan. Honorable, you have funds. Me pacho musi ni dine yedei. Ni dine yedei. Ato is forcing. Thank you for all you do for our economy, Honorable. And thank you for appreciating the diaspora and our contribution to nation building as well. Ladies and gentlemen, what is a Ghanaian event without some music, a little rhythm, and definitely a little dancing, even if it's only in the shoulders? Before we proceed to the keynote address, which I know you're all eagerly waiting for, let's enjoy a performance from the Blema Cultural Troupe. A round of applause for them, please. applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the Blema Cultural Troupe. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker needs very little introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway because he deserves it. We're especially honored this evening to be joined by a leader whose service to Ghana has been defined by dedication, vision, and an enduring belief in the Ghanaian people. He's a statesman of experience, conviction, and one who has devoted decades of his life to public service, a man who has stood at the forefront of Ghana's democratic journey, championing development, economic transformation, and Ghana's place on the global stage. Under his leadership, Ghana continues to pursue a future built on opportunity, innovation, and prosperity, while strengthening the bonds that connect Ghanaians at home with those making remarkable contributions across the world. And tonight, here in London, we're reminded of the relationship between Ghana and its diaspora, that it's not merely symbolic, it is essential. The achievements of Ghanaians abroad continue to elevate our nation's reputation, and our dear President has consistently recognized the importance of engaging, listening to, and partnering with the diaspora community. Tonight, he joins us not just as our President, but also as a fellow Ghanaian, a son of Ghana, directly engaging with citizens and the diaspora community on the future of our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore both a privilege and an absolute honor for me to introduce a distinguished leader, the first gentleman of our motherland, my president, your president, our president, with a standing ovation and a rounds of applause. Please welcome His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Kindly be seated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me proceed on the established protocol and salutations, but to acknowledge our Honorable Member of Parliament for Southgate and Wood Green, and also our Mayor of Haringey. We thank you very much for coming to join us. And if it makes you happy, MP, I was also born on Saturday, so I'm called Kwame. Thank you. Let me acknowledge our traditional rulers. Your regalia is so beautiful. It advances Ghanaian culture, and we thank you very much for coming. All our citizens, our senior government officials who have joined us, our very hyperactive High Commissioner in UK. And all our beautiful citizens. Let me acknowledge our pastor who said the opening prayer, Pastor Ohene Prekuya. Okay, and imams who will say the closing prayer. I acknowledge all of you. I have a speech here, but I tended not to read it. I just want to make a few remarks because several of our senior government officials have spoken, and these are people who are helping me to achieve what we're achieving in Ghana. When you go to a restaurant and the waiter serves you with the food, You eat the food and it's very delicious. And you compliment the waiter and say, your food is very delicious. But it's not the waiter who cooked that food. Those cooking the food are in the kitchen. And those are my ministers and all my senior government officials. And so we share the honor together, we share the credit together, and in what we have managed to achieve. We have my Minister of Finance, he's spoken. I think Guzi has spoken. Governor of the Central Bank have spoken. The good thing is working as a team. If you can have individual talents, but if you don't work as a team, you don't achieve as much rapid progress as you should. But I'm happy to say that this government is working as a team, and we understand each other and we're working together. This visit is important, and we came mainly because of the UK Investment Summit. And so that summit will take place tomorrow, and I'm hoping that as many of you as possible can join us, because there will be more detailed discussions on what is going on in Ghana, what the investment opportunities are. The Ghana Investment Promotion Council is here, the State Housing Company is here. Indeed, so many of our chief executives of SOEs are here, and you get an opportunity to get more in-depth knowledge about what is happening. We'll also have a breakfast meeting with the UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, at 10 Downing Street to discuss bilateral issues. And then we also have the privilege of a courtesy visit to King Charles during this visit. We'll also have a lecture at Chatham House, and so those who are able to attend can also join us. And then we'll also give the keynote address for the Africa debates. And so it's quite a packed program. But as part of our accountability to the people, I cannot come to the UK without meeting our fellow citizens and sharing a moment with you. As we have said, our diaspora is the 17th region of Ghana. We have 16 physical regions in Ghana, but we have one virtual region, which is our diaspora abroad. And I mean, it's obvious that you are critical to what we do, because, like the minister said, your remittances have reached the highest ever, above $7.8 billion actually last year. And I mean, I dare say that probably that is much larger than, many regions are contributing to the GDP in Ghana. So you deserve your position as the 17th region of Ghana. And to recognize that, as part of the Constitution review, we currently have a legislation before Parliament to review the 1992 Constitution to allow Ghanaians in the diaspora who hold other passports or dual passports to be able to participate in our politics at parliamentary, ministerial level. And I privately call it the Jechikwesin law, because of the tribulations this man went through. He almost ended up in jail, but I was confident that it wasn't going to happen, because I knew we were going to win the election and he would gain his freedom. And so thank you very much. You've heard quite a bit about the economy. We have just emerged from the extended credit facility, which is an IMF program, and the Minister of Finance has briefed you on the situation that we met. Actually, the government had entered into the IMF program before we took over the reins of government. But unfortunately, after the fourth review, all the performance criteria from June the year before in 2024 had gone completely off track. And so the IMF program was completely derailed off track. And so when we took office, the next review was going to take place in April. And so happily, they sent a small technical team. We sat together. Everything that government had agreed with them was off track. And so it meant that between then and when the fund arrived for the main review, we had to take very, very strong decisions. And that is why the Minister of Finance told you that we had to take quite stringent, bitter decisions. But that is what life is about. When you are ill, sometimes you have to take bitter medicine before you get better. And I'm happy, as he said, to say that the sacrifices that Ghanaians made had paid off. And Ghana is, like he said, back again. Ghana is working again. And so he's giving you all the statistics. The macro economy is stable. And all the macro indicators are looking very much in the right direction. Indeed, a lot of people are surprised at how it was achieved. And Ghana has become the poster boy for economic recovery across the world. Anytime they go for the spring meetings of the World Bank and the IMF, everybody is pointing to the other African countries to Ghana and say, go to Ghana and learn how they did it. And so there's a time when we must be proud to be Ghanaian, not only because our economy is doing well, but we can see that we are making progress towards the country that our forebears dreamed us to become. We have led Africa in the liberation struggle, and under our first president, we pushed for African continental unity, and Ghana has been at the forefront of Pan-Africanism. And I must say that we have achieved our pride of place again at the forefront of Pan-Africanism. Recently, we went to the United Nations. The African diaspora and indeed Africans on the continent have been struggling over the issue of reparations for so many years. We became the champion of reparations and restitutive justice. And when I went to the UN in September, I announced to the world that we're going to move a motion to describe the slave trade, transatlantic slave trade, as the gravest crime against humanity. And we did that with 123 votes. A lot of people believed that there was no way we could garner that support, but we did. And that has put on record what happened to our ancestors and people of African ancestry. Now we need to move to the next step, and so we're hosting a conference in Accra in June, which is called The Next Steps. And it's called The Next Steps because after the UN resolution, what next? And so we're bringing the Caribbean and all people of African descent from all over the world to come and discuss what the next steps are. Recently, we've always pushed for African unity, and so it's sad to see some of the things that are happening on the continent. There's no way that any African country can achieve the kind of progress that it needs without working with other countries. We cannot achieve it in isolation. And that is why we passed the African Continental Free Trade Area, so that our people can invest in each other's countries, our people can move freely amongst each other's countries. Ghana is actioning this. Recently, we have made visas to our country for all African passport holders free of charge. So any African traveling to Ghana does not have to pay for a visa. In doing that, we've introduced the e-visa system, which makes it more convenient for our citizens living in diaspora. No longer do you have to come from Middlesbrough or Birmingham to the embassy to come and apply for a visa. You just sit wherever you are and put in the application, and within 48 hours, the visa will be issued. Indeed, I had the honor of issuing the first visa. And the person who got the first visa when I pressed the portal is a Serbian. I later found out he's an oil rig worker. And so he arrived in Accra Airport, and then continued to Takra. They boarded a helicopter, and he's on the oil rig somewhere offshore in Ghana. And so that's an achievement we are all proud of. When the minister was talking, he talked about growth. One of the important things to look at with growth is what they call non-oil growth. Normally, when you are an oil-producing country, for many oil-producing countries, 90% of their growth is down to export of crude oil and gas. And so they've coined a term they call the Dutch disease. And so every country aims to have balanced growth. And so always you must look at the non-oil growth. It means if you take oil and gas out as a component of your growth, you must see significant progress. It means that your agriculture is working, your manufacturing is working, your digital and ICT are working. And like he said, we achieved more than 7% growth in non-oil. And so that's a very significant figure to look at to judge what the health of the economy is. And so again, we thank the economy team for what they're doing. The energy sector too is critical, and I'm happy to announce that it's stable. We have begun undertaking a total revamp of the electricity distribution sector. There are some areas where the transformers were installed 22 years ago. And for some of you, I'm sure that if you have homes back in Ghana, you go and you notice that in some places the power surges and you have brownouts and that kind of thing. The electricity is not stable. And that's because at the time you build a house, they put a transformer there and you had 100 houses in your vicinity. Today, with that same transformer that was put there, you have 500 houses in the same vicinity using that same transformer. And so the transformers get overloaded and they are not able to provide stable power. So we're overhauling all the transformers all over the country in order that power is stable for everybody. We inherited a debt in the energy sector of about $1.5 billion. And the Minister of Energy and the Minister of Economy, Finance have both been working together to pay down that debt. For instance, we had with ENI, which is one of the major players in our upstream energy sector, drilling for oil in the OCTP field. Their field is called the Sankofa field. We had a World Bank guarantee of $500 million. That's guaranteed payments to them for the gas that we consume. At the time we took over, that World Bank guarantee had been drawn down to zero. Today, through the hard work of the Minister of Energy and the Minister of Economy, we've built that World Bank guarantee back fully to $500 million. And so as a result of that, they have also expanded the amount of gas they are giving us, which we use to generate power. Recently, we've signed agreements with them and the Jubilee Partners. The Jubilee Partners, we've signed an agreement for them to invest another $2 billion in drilling new wells offshore Ghana in order to increase the amount of oil and gas that we produce. We've also signed with ENI to invest another $1.5 billion in the OCTP field to increase the amount of gas and oil that we produce. But there's a very interesting scenario. Normally, we produce the oil and we export it. And then we import finished products, or we import crude oil to refine. We are just about to make history again. We did it in my first term, but after we left office, it didn't continue. We are about to start to refine our own crude. And so, in June, we're delivering a parcel of Ghanaian crude from our own oil fields to the Tema Oil Refinery to process. And that is what we call value addition, because we process, we mine ores like manganese, bauxite, and all the other ores, gold and everything, and then we ship them out to be processed by somebody. And so in that processing, we're creating jobs in that other person's economy. And then the products for which we sent the ores abroad are made into finished products, and those finished products are exported back to us. And so we need to pursue value addition, not only in the mining sector, in the oil and gas sector, but also in the agriculture and other manufacturing sectors. And so I've said that next year, because we're going to buy our cocoa with our own money, before we had to go at the beginning of every season to go and borrow money from the traders. And we use that money to purchase the cocoa. And we collateralize our cocoa beans in advance for that money. So if it's the 2026 season and they give us $1 billion, we collateralize the 2026 beans to them. And so you have to export those beans to them. This year, the Minister of Finance, we've been trying to revitalize Cocoa Board. The Minister of Finance is going to allow Cocoa Board to float a bond by itself to raise the money that it needs to buy our cocoa. And so we are going to use our own money to buy our own cocoa. And I've said that if we use that money to buy the cocoa, it's not collateralized. 50% of those beans must be processed locally in Ghana. Because we export all those cocoa beans, and the grinding and the processing is done outside, and then the chocolates and cocoa powders and cocoa drinks are exported back to us. We're going to process ourselves, and also export finished products, not only within the continent, under the African Continental Free Trade Area. Cocoa products qualify because almost 100% of the content is locally sourced. And so it qualifies perfectly under the African Continental Free Trade Area. And Ghana should be able to supply virtually the whole of Africa with cocoa products. And so we're going to do that. We also had a problem with independent power producers. A certain amount of our power is produced by private investment. And at the time we came, we owed them about $1.5 billion. There too, the Minister of Finance, Ato, is working with the Energy Minister, have managed to pay down that debt. And what we've done is we've ring-fenced the debt, and we've given them a payment plan, and we've met every single payment to them. And so they also are happy and producing power, and our power sector is stable. So let me just touch on two more things, and then I think I'll give you the opportunity to ask any questions that you want. One is governance. Governance is important. Ghana has progressed in the Press Freedom Index. We've moved up more than 30 places on the Press Freedom Index. Our Constitution guarantees freedom of association, freedom of religion and worship, freedom of movement, and I believe that we are quite well advanced in terms of maintaining those rights. We also are amending the Constitution. The Constitution has served us very well from 1992 to date, but a time comes when you have to amend it so that you make it a living document to be able to serve you for another 30 years or more. And so we set up a Constitution Review Committee, which took the work that had been done under Atta Mills by the Fiajo Committee, and then we also took the work that had been done under Nana Akufo-Addo by the Chairman's Abonso Committee. And we gave these two documents to the Constitution Review Committee. They did a good job. They presented their reports, and government is finalizing its proposals in response to that report. Once that is done, the process for constitutional review will start. I don't want to bore you with the details, but there are many things that have been identified in there which will go to Parliament. And for those that are entrenched provisions, they will have to go for a referendum. That means all Ghanaians must participate in the referendum to decide what the constitutional review will be. With accountability, a lot of work is going on. We have about 36 active investigations, and we believe that if you serve in government, you must be prepared to be accountable. because the people put trust in you and give you that mandate to serve. And you serve at the will of the people. And so if you serve and you use public office and abuse the trust of the people, you must be held to account. And I have said that we must stop post-regime accountability. Often when things happen under one government, no investigations are done, government is reluctant to prosecute anybody. It takes the next government that comes to take the cases up and begin any prosecutions. And so I've told my people serving in government that the same accountability we're holding the past regime to. If you get involved in an abuse of trust of your office, we will deal with you in the same way. And Mayor in Twi, we say, Aba ya de botechi, no ya de beboba. Yes. It reminds me of our President Rawlings of late, blessed memory. He said, Aba ya de botechi, edaho. And so we're putting in place the structures, and the point is to do as much as possible to prevent corruption. And now technology allows us to be able to do that. The former digital budgetary platform we're using, which is the GIFMIS, is no longer fit for purpose, so we are upgrading it. That will allow us to see in real time how Ghana's money is being spent. And because we're using blockchain technology, if you go in and you put anything there, you can't go back and change it. And so if you put in a fictitious invoice, we will find you out, because once it goes in and it is queried, we'll come back and arrest you. At the port, we've introduced AI to help our customs officers do the evaluation. And so far it's working very well. Ato is a very happy man because every day he gets the notification on his phone how much money the AI has saved him in terms of revenue leakages, and he sleeps well at night. You know, sometimes he forwards it to me when it's a record high. He says, President, look how much the AI saved us today. You know, so we're doing that. We're setting up audit courts. Every year you hear the Auditor General's report. Ghana lost 12 billion CDs from misappropriations and things. The Chief Justice has graciously set up audit courts. And so this time we're not just going to go to the Public Accounts Committee and say that this person misappropriated this person misappropriated this, and nothing happens. After the Public Accounts Committee has looked at it, the Attorney General and the Auditor General are going to take out all the people who have misappropriated, and we're putting them in front of those special courts to either refund our money or proceed to Nsawam and go and catch some rest there. And so as I wrap up, I can't not talk about environment. We still have a problem with illegal mining. Ghana was not called Gold Coast for nothing. Virtually everywhere in the country, if you dig, you will find some gold. The only regions I think haven't found any gold are Volta region, OT, and a few other regions. And I tell them that they are blessed that there's no gold under their land. And so if you go to Volta region, the forests are still beautiful, you know, the rivers are clean, you know. And so we won't give up the fight. Communities have become used to relying on illegal mining for their incomes. And so we have been in discussion. It is about what they call formalization of mining. Other countries have had the same problem, and they've been able to formalize their small-scale mining sector. Countries like Peru had the same problem as we had with people digging just everywhere. They managed to formalize it using exploration, using regulation. Now their geological survey is able to explore using some new satellite technology to be able to identify exactly where the gold is. And when that is identified and a lease is given, you have to do all the infrastructure work to prevent poisoning the waters or everything before you even put a shovel on the ground. And it has worked quite well for them. In our case, exploration is not done. They take a concession 20 kilometers square. They go to this corner of it, go and dig. Then they wash, they say, oh, bibi here. Then they go and dig here. Oh, there's nothing here. Then they go and dig here. It's like just shooting in the dark until they hit a vein. And then when they hit a vein, they just start digging and washing the water into the environment. And so our aim is to formalize, and that's why we set up the Gold Board. The Gold Board is not only to sell gold, it is also to invest in reclamation and also formalization of the small-scale gold mining sector. But in the meantime, we have the task force, which is called NIMOS, which goes around and confiscates these excavators. And now we're confiscating the Shamfam machines, because that's the critical equipment that is used in illegal mining. Without the Shamfam machine, that whole mining operation will come to a stop. And so they were being exported into Ghana from outside, and we have identified the components that make the Shamfam machines. So at the port, we confiscate them and we destroy them so that they cannot use them in the illegal mining. We also are pushing for a greater participation in our resources. It is only natural. I mean, for many years, we have given out huge concessions to foreign companies. They come, they mine, after they finish, they just leave the scars of the mining with poor communities dotted around. And so we recently introduced what we call a sliding scale. The sliding scale goes from 5 to 12. And so if the price goes down to, let's use gold as an example, if the price goes down to say $2,000 or $2,300, the minimum royalty is 5%. But if the price goes up to about 4,500 thereabouts, the sliding scale pushes the royalties up to 12%. And so Ghana gets more from the royalties. So that's one of the changes we've made. But we're also passing a local content bill. That means that all the ancillary work and subcontracting in mining must be given to Ghanaian companies. For many years, we've had the University of Mines and Technology, and so Ghana has more than enough geologists, we have civil engineers, we have companies that are capable of doing all that subcontracting. Before, there used to be transfer pricing because the same company doing the mining will form a foreign subsidiary and award the contract to them to come and do the mining, and then they raise the prices of the subcontracting, and so they're making profit here and making profit there. And so we're saying that you do the mining, make your profit, but the subcontracting work, hauling, drilling, blasting, must be done by Ghanaian companies so that a component of the profit of mining remains locally in our country. So finally, defense and security. We live in a dangerous sub-region. You're all aware of what is happening in the Sahel. And they say that when your neighbor's house is burning, you don't only fetch water and put it by your house, but you also go and help him to quench his so that it won't spread to your house. And so that's what we've been doing. When I came as president, the relations between our 3 Sahelian neighbors and the rest of ECOWAS were very frozen. And so I took it on myself to try and create a bridge between ECOWAS and our 3 Sahelian neighbors. And I must say that they have responded positively. And we are trying to create a rapprochement between us because all of us need to join them in the fight against terrorism. Because if we don't, and the terrorists gain a strong foothold in their countries, the next direction in which they would look is towards us. But even as we do that, we also must strengthen our defense and security. We found our army in a very dilapidated state. At the time I left as president, we had bought 3 new Casa 295 aircrafts. When I came back, only one was working. One had crashed. The other one was supposed to go for service. It hadn't been sent for service. Happily, I made the finance minister deliberately the acting minister of defense. And so anytime the soldiers send their bills, he pays quickly because he's their acting minister. So he's paid to repair the second plane that was grounded. We had 4 helicopters, the MH17 helicopters. One of them crashed. When we came, only one was working, and 2 needed servicing. He has paid to repair them and bring them back into service. We are providing the armed forces with armored personnel carriers, APCs, they call them. Also the police service, we've not forgotten about them. Recently we gave them armored cars. We used to expect them to go and fight armed robbers. And they go and fight armed robbers, highway robbers, sometimes using AK-47s, in thin-skinned vehicles. I mean, that means vehicles that are not armored. And so we're losing a lot of police officers because the highway robbers shoot at them. And I mean, I think in 2024, we buried about 16 police officers. Some of them died in robberies. And so, again, by the generosity of the Minister of Finance, he released some money, and we bought them 40 armored vehicles. And you can already tell, because our roads have become safer, they do the patrols, and they know that they are protected, and that government thinks about them and their safety. And so they do more patrols, and we're getting a handle on those delinquents who want to prey on our people. And so that also is going well. In foreign policy, we're collaborating with all our partners. We are friends to all, enemies to none. And we have special relations with everybody, the United Kingdom, US, France, Germany, Russia, Ukraine, Iran, Israel. Everybody is our friend. All we do is to tell them to stop fighting. The fighting is okay. Stop fighting so that we can build prosperity for this world. And so I want to leave it there, and thank you very much for your kind attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you so much, Mr. President, for bringing us up to speed on the wonderful happenings in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful communicator we've got for a president. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? Let's give him another round of applause then. One may ask, why do I say that? I say that because he put his speech aside and he still gave us the numbers solid, back to back, off the top of his head. What more could you ask for? Thank you very much, Your Excellency. He also did say it's a good time to be proud to be a Ghanaian. I certainly agree with him. If you're proud to be a Ghanaian today, just shout, Ghana to the world! Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll now proceed to the Q&A session. Our President and his able ministers are all ears to listen to you and to answer your questions as well. As we engage, may I kindly remind everyone of the following. Please keep your contributions as brief, respectful, and it's also going to be limited to 1 question per person. If you go on for too long, unfortunately, I'll have to use my host privileges and cut you off. We also encourage everyone to focus on issues of national importance. and avoid matters already being dealt with through diplomatic channels and institutional channels as well. We've got the privilege of having the president here, so let's not waste that opportunity by talking about issues that the Ghana High Commission can handle for you, for instance. We've got some ushers in the crowd with microphones. Can I see where the ushers are? Okay. Should we start then? We'll start from my left-hand side. Yes, if you just hand that over to the gentleman next to you, yeah. We'll take 4 questions for every round, ladies and gentlemen. Please state your name before you ask your question as well. And if you're representing an organization, please feel free to mention that organization as well. Your microphone is not working. Should we move on to the next one while you get that sorted? Okay, can we please move to the middle? Yes, please.
Hello, Your Excellency, Ministers of State, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Elijah Timop. I am East London Branch Chairman. I have one simple question for our President. You have stated not once, not twice, but several times how we in the diaspora contribute heavily to the economy of Ghana, almost to the tune of $8 billion annually. I think that is a very significant 17th region to be largely ignored. Don't you agree? From
Please,
East London.
the question.
Yes.
Else I'm going to have to use my host privileges to cut you off. The question.
My question is,
yes,
we understand that not everybody can be satisfied. And so we want to be part of the solution. And so in East London, we have come up with a proposal to help create jobs as part of the 24-hour economy.
Okay, let's come to your question, sir, please.
Yeah, so my question is,
respectfully,
who would be the right person that we would send that proposal to? Because we send things and they just disappear.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. We'll go back to the first gentleman.
Hello.
On my left-hand side.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Edwin Essel, a member of the Ghanaian community in the UK.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's be quiet and listen.
Mr. President and dignitaries, we've talked a lot about transparencies. And what overall, when the new government took over, we had so many stories about the cocoa board and misapplied funds, etc. My proposal here is, in the interest of transparency and accountability, why can't every single public institution be made to produce audited accounts every year? That will avoid all of those noises year after year.
Thank you very much. No, one per person, please, respectfully. Okay. Thank you very much for your question. Okay, let's go to the right-hand side. Who's got the microphone on the right-hand side? Please. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is George Echampo, and I represent Leeds Branch. I'm the communication officer for the Leeds Branch. Leeds is well known, a very vibrant one, very known by Excellency Mrs. Zita Benson. She knows Leeds very well. We are very vibrant. My question is very simple, and is to His Excellency. My question is about reversible reaction. We all know about brain drain being a very big disease as far as Ghana is concerned. Now, I'm asking what His Excellency and the government is doing about trying to sort of create a database so that people who are capable and the elite people of this of the diaspora can channel through it so that they will be known, and if there are availabilities for certain positions and certain jobs, it can be known.
Thank you very much for your question. We will take the last question for the first round. Let me look towards the back. The gentleman with the Ghana flag. Yes,
Hello.
in the red hat.
Hello. Okay. Your Excellency, my name is Anderson, and I represent the Ghana International Supporters Union. I want to find out, I know Ghana is carrying supporters to the US for the World Cup. Have you made any provision for those in the UK and groups that are also not in Ghana but want to be part of it? Please.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your question. We will now give Your Excellency, the President, the opportunity to respond to those questions, and then we'll move on to the next round. The floor is yours, Your Excellency.
Oh. Thank you very much. I think I'll just answer this round and remain here so that I don't have to keep going between my seat and this place. With regards to the first question, and that's the East London chapter, I'm proud to say that my roads minister, Kwame Agbodja, was vice chair of the East London chapter. And Atufosin was a member of the East London chapter. And so there is evidence of many of our people coming back and being integrated into the system. Indeed, that is why we're doing what we're doing and amending the Constitution to allow you to participate at every level of governance in Ghana. Before, if you had dual citizenship or you were not exactly resident, you were cut out from participating in some aspects of Ghanaian life. But like we said, being the 17th region, you must be free to be able to come home and participate. And normally what I say, this links with the issue of brain drain, is that when I go, I don't tell our citizens, come back home and come and work. You must do it strategically. Relocating can be very shocking. I've seen people just pack their bags, I'm going home. And they get back home, and in a year, they are so frustrated, that they virtually pack and come back. And so take your time, look for what you want to do when you get back. And you can even start it, and make sure that it is, being grounded before you relocate. And so there's brain drain and there's brain gain. The thing, and this is what I say about migration. Somebody says, why did you come to our country? Human beings from time immemorial have been very mobile. All of us were created in Africa. Human civilization started in Africa. And then our cousins, the British, migrated and came here. The Chinese migrated and went there. Everybody migrated to somewhere else. And people move for many reasons. Some for opportunity, some just want to travel and go somewhere else. And so just as you say, somebody is in your country, you too, your people are in that person's country. And so in Ghana, we have everybody. We have British, we have South Africans, we have Sudanese, we have everybody, and we're living together. So I think that it is that diversity. And our elders say, Yediahoho ne chichiri kru. For those of you who know that, Yediahoho and a chichiri kru. Because ahoho come sometimes with investment, and sometimes they come with new ideas that you never thought about. So there will be brain drain, there will be brain gain, but it's to the benefits of everybody. When we came, there were several state-owned enterprises, and I should have added that to my report. I'm pleased to tell you that a lot of the state-owned enterprises are turning around. that has been one of the major stumbling blocks on economic progress. Even while we are being disciplined and we're making sure that we're using the money properly, who as chief executive of state-owned enterprises, and they go and make huge losses. And because they belong to the state, those losses are contingent liabilities on the public debt. And so now we focused on them. We have the State Interest Accountability, whatever office, that supervises them. We found out that some state-owned enterprises had not presented annual reports or audited accounts for 7 years. I mean, who runs an organization like that? For 7 years, no audited accounts, no, annual reports. And so we've made it part of their key performance indicators. And so I've told the CEOs that by a certain date, SIGA has set the date, I think it's middle of this year. If you have not presented your audited accounts, you haven't presented your annual report, the road is your face, you go home. And so we're bringing that discipline back. And I'm happy to announce that several of the state-owned enterprises have even gone from loss-making to profit-making. At least I know National Buffer Stock announced a 60 million Ghana cedi profit for the first time in years. And there are several others who, after balancing their account, think that they've made a profit instead of a loss. But we still have to look at the legacy debts that they have incurred. With regards to the Black Stars, it will be difficult to take our supporters from other domain. We are restricted because of the nature of this particular World Cup. It's being held in 3 countries. And we're playing our first match in Canada, and then moving to Boston, from Boston to Philadelphia. And the cost of transporting, feeding, accommodating each supporter is, beyond our means. We say we're being fiscally disciplined. We cannot, spend our money in that manner. The cost approximates for each person to be fed, accommodated, transported, and all that, to watch the games, tickets, and all that, is estimated at almost $11,000. And so, how many can we take? So, we're concentrating mainly on the supporters' unions. They have a tradition of following the team to different places. They've been here to the UK, they've been to Germany, and they are registered members of the supporters' union. But what we're doing is, we are procuring tickets for Ghanaians in the diaspora who want to attend the games. And so if you want to attend the game, you will get a ticket to attend the game. And so we have organized our chapters, our Ghanaian citizens in Boston, in Philadelphia, in Canada. And so the tickets that we have purchased, we would give to them to be able to watch the match. If any of you want to travel across and get tickets, I think that there's a way we can manage for you to get tickets to watch the games. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We'll take the next round of questions, and thank you for the advices and the nuggets of gold you dropped for us. You've told us that when we want to move back home, we have to do it incrementally, not the big bang.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Next round. Can the microphone please be brought to Nananom in the front, please? Who has the microphone? Can you kindly, just one question from Nananom for now, please.
You haven't got a woman yet.
Oh, okay. You go, sir.
All right. Mr. President, first of all, thank you for coming. And my name is Nana Pimwusuansa, Ahinimahine of Yamuasin, and representing the Omahine of UK and Ireland as well. First of all, we have to thank you for bringing us our first female High Commission to the UK. She is doing amazingly well. So we thank you. Mr. President, one of the major pre-death in Ghana is accident. The way accident is causing death, if I'm not scared, I think it will be number one or number second of untimely death in Ghana. And whenever I'm talking about this particular issue, I become so emotional because my only mother who raised me passed away through road accident.
Okay.
We just got a message that you are going to do an express road from Kumasi to Accra, which is one of the main roads causing and losing a whole lot of life in Ghana. Mr. President, we just want to hear from you. Is this just one of the campaign promises or just a promise to the Ghanaian, raising our morals high, or this is coming to be a reality of life?
Your question,
Thank you.
Nana. Thank you, thank you. No, sorry, we're going upstairs.
Hello, Mr. President.
Please cut the mic 1 second.
Topping up of what he said.
Okay,
please.
top up.
My name is Nana Amolu Jemfua Debra, standing as a Santa for him, UK and Ireland. This is just a proposal, Mr. President. Our king said Kumasi and Accra Road, a proposal to the 24 hours economy, which we are interested in. Honorable Gustitano is here. Please, why can't we start the 24 economy at Kumasi and Accra Road?
Thank you very much, our Queen Mother. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we need some gender balance here. Well, our Queen Mother has spoken, but the President reminded me that we haven't yet had any questions from any of our ladies. Let's go upstairs. Who has a microphone upstairs?
My name is Dr. Ren. Greetings to...
Hold on, please. Hold on. Let's have some decorum here, please. We're taking a question from upstairs first, please.
Good
Is there a
evening.
microphone upstairs?
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening, Your Excellency, my dear lady, Mrs. Zita Saba Benson. My name is Dr. Ren. Mr. President, I've been in the security for many years here in the country. My question is very simple. How do you balance cost savings with national security considering when choosing a travel on commercial flight? I ask this because just recently we saw Shatawale in town. He came with a private jet. I am told that you traveled on a commercial flight. So the question is simple. Do you believe commercial flights provide adequate security for a sitting president?
Thank you very much for your question. We'll take a question from the middle. There's a young lady in the middle. Please hand the microphone to her. Thank you.
My name is... Hello, everyone. Hello, my rival. You're standing there enjoying yourself, aren't you? Sorry. Okay, so my name is Beatrice Asante, and I advocate for the youth in UK. And I work with Omega TV, yeah? Okay. So, Mr. President, the last time you came, I remember I asked you that what are you doing to help the youth integrate with the youth in Ghana and here? Because if you look at what is going on now, we've got one of the youngest chancellors, which is Faye Ohima. And Ohima Faye, yeah? All right, cool. And she's a Ghanaian. And we met Echi on Tuesday. And before I even go further, she's doing a fantastic job, for one. And because Faye is the youngest Ghanaian councillors in Enfield, Bullsmore Ward, yeah? They've got so much ideas, which I always advocate because I'm first generation, they're second generation. How do we intend to support them so that the skill set that they have, they can actually push it forward? Because we've got even Miss Ghana, which is Shadel. And Shadel just came from Ghana, and she's actually helped. And I keep saying, my genre is to support the youth. So how do we, the Ghanaian community, intend to support them?
Thank you. We'll take a last question before His Excellency responds. There's a young lady in the aisle, in the middle. Kindly hand the microphone to her. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. This has been a very enlightening session.
It's fine. You can take
Hello,
it.
everyone.
Go for it. Yes.
Okay. My name is Rachel. My question is just a request. I bought, Mr. President, I bought your book online, my first coup d'etat, and I was wondering if you could sign it for me.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of the second round of questions. Let's allow His Excellency to respond. Let's take the question from the young lady in the middle aisle. Please do not take the microphone away from her. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
My name is Bevlyn. I'm 18 years old, and my question is, my name is Bevlyn. I'm 18 years old, and my question is, how does Ghana plan to attract more foreign direct investment in a way that ensures that there's no resource crowding and displacement of domestic businesses, especially as a young person with future business ambitions?
Thank you very much. Thank you for your question.
Sprish. I don't.
You see, oh.
Take your time, speak slowly.
Please, do it one by one. Thank you.
My name is Bevlyn. I'm 18 years old, and my question is, how does Ghana plan to attract more foreign direct investment in a way that ensures that there is no resource crowding, so like raw materials, like employment?
Oh, there's no resource.
Yes.
Can somebody say it in Ghanaian English for me, please?
Okay. And
I heard, how do we attract foreign investment? So that the rest of us
so that the foreign businesses don't take away a lot of resources like jobs or like labor or resources.
Yeah, thank you.
And so that there is no displacement of domestic businesses. That foreign businesses come and they provide like cheaper products, like I don't want to name some names, but they provide cheaper resources, and this displaces a lot of local businesses who might have more high cost of production.
Thank you very much for your question. Thank you. Let's allow His Excellency to respond to the second round of questions, ladies and gentlemen.
I think I'll start with Nana's question, and he spoke about accidents. Yeah, many of us have lost relatives or through accidents, or they've been permanently injured and disabled because of road accidents. Now, the main reason is multiple. There are many reasons for it. One, our licensing regime is a problem. People are able to get driver's licenses without going through the rigorous testing that they have to go through to be able to get the licenses. And then the second one is also the road infrastructure. Ghana has maintained the old road infrastructure that was left us by the British. And these roads were single lane highways. And so you have one traffic going in one direction and another coming in the other direction. That is a recipe for accidents, because wrong judgment in overtaking leads to head-on collisions. And so we have taken a decision, and I'm happy the road minister is here under the big push. Major roads, that is our busiest roads, are being dualized. And so you'd have 4 lanes, 2 lanes on one side going in the same direction, and 2 lanes on the other side coming in the same direction, so that the issue of single lane overtaking and collisions will be a thing of the past. And so the Accra, Winneba, Mankasim, Cape Coast, Takrady Road, which is one of our busiest roads, is being converted into a dual course highway. The Accra, Adan to Aflawo Road, which is another of our biggest roads, is also being turned into a dual course highway. But then the iconic one is the Accra-Kumasi Expressway. And I'm pleased to inform our traditional ruler that work has actually started. We've given the 48th Engineers Regiment of the Ghana Army the contract to clear the roadway, and they've started. As I was leaving Ghana, they had cleared 51 kilometers of the road. And that new road is going to reduce the traveling distance between Accra and Kumasi from 270 kilometers to 198 kilometers. So one is going to be shorter, and two is going to be a 6-lane expressway. So there'll be 3 lanes going in one direction and 3 lanes coming in the other direction. And in all the major towns, it's not going to go through any major town. It's bypassing all the towns. If you get to Asamankesi, there'll be an off-ramp. You go on the off-ramp, you come under the bridge, and then you go to Asamankesi. If you get to Akimoda, you go off the off-ramp, and you go to Akimoda. If you get to Ofuasi, who's from Ofuasi, you go off the off-ramp, and you go to Ofuasi. If you get to, what do they call it, Bosomtri, you go off the off-ramp, and you go to Bosomtri. So it's not going to go through any major urban development. And so you won't have people selling bread and other things along the road. At various stops in the road, there are going to be rest stops. And so there'll be a filling station, there'll be restaurants, there'll be shops, there'll be guest houses. If you want to take a rest, you can go off the road, go and rest. You can use the washrooms, you buy your fuel, and then you continue. And so there'll be rest stops along the road. Of course, it will be a tolled road. And so if you want to use it, you have to pay. If you don't want to pay, then the old, I was going to say snail-paced old road is still available for you. That one, if you want to take that option, that's for you. But if you want to go quickly, and it will take you 2 hours to go from Accra to Kumasi instead of current 5 hours that you take. And so I believe that working on the road infrastructure will reduce the accidents, but we also are tightening the licensing regime so that people who go behind the steer, we know, have the capacity to take people from point A to point B. With regards to the 24-hour economy, and I'm happy Guzi gave you a brief on it, we've passed the 24-hour economy authority bill. It's become an act now. I signed it into law. And just last week, the team brought the report and the vision to cabinet for approval, which we've done. And they're starting with several projects, including logistics, that is moving goods from Tema along the Volta Lake to Bupe in the northern region. They are supposed to be agro-industrial parks, and so there'll be factories there, and they can move their products, their raw material up, and bring their finished products down. They're also investing, going to get the private sector to invest in 200 megawatts of solar capacity in order to bring down the cost of electricity. One of the major things that affects our competitiveness of industry in Ghana is that our cost of power is too high. And so we want to use renewable energy like solar to bring down the tariffs for industry, especially so that they can expand and employ more people. With regards to flights, we use a combination of both. It depends on where we're going and what the scheduling is. If you have a visit where you have to go to multiple places, you cannot use commercial flights. You know, for instance, the last time we had to go to Gabon, and then from Gabon fly to UAE. I mean, it's difficult to get commercial flights to take you and let you arrive on time for whatever you're doing. So you necessarily have to go by private means. But, I mean, if you're coming to Ghana for UK Investment Summit, I mean, it's makes sense to come commercial. And so this visit became commercial because there are no time limits, and we're coming to UK for this summit, and then from there we're going back home. And so we came commercial, and we'll go back commercial. With regards to youth in government, I'm pleased to announce that this government probably has the youngest average age in the history of the Fourth Republic. If you look at our CEOs, our ministers, if you strike the average age, we have the youngest government in the history of our republic. And I'm glad to say that they are doing a very efficient job. They've proven that young people are capable of doing it. They are capable of working for the interest of the people. And I'm proud of all the CEOs and others who are working as part of my team. We, as part of the constitutional review, are considering reducing the age limit for Parliament and for the presidency. The Constitutional Review Committee recommended 30 years, but I think the government's position is for 35 years. And so between 30 and 35, we have to make a decision, but Parliament will decide. But I can tell you that there are very young people in government, and of course, Parliament doesn't have any limits on age. You can go into Parliament even at 25, 26 years, but the main limit is for presidential, for president or vice president. And that we want to reduce to 30 years or 35 years of age. And so I believe that young people are taking part in what is happening in Ghana. If you go into the digital and fintech space, you'll be surprised at what the young people are doing there. You know, the fintechs, and they're just 18 years, 19 years, 20 years, you know, average age just around 20. And they have taken to the technology like ducks to water, you know. And so youth are actively participating in Ghana's economic progress. And I think that we can link up with them to see how they're doing. With FDI, the Ghana Investment Promotion Center has removed the limit on how much you need to bring into the country before you can come in and invest. We want to open up the space for as many people as possible. So any of you who want to invest, or you have investors who are coming, before you had to come and show physically $1 million before you are giving the privileges to invest. Now you don't need to put up that capital. And so it's open, free, people are invited to invest. We don't have any restrictions on where you invest. The only area is in small retail business. That is an area reserved for Ghanaians. Small retail business, like corner shops and things. We don't expect that somebody will come from outside and come and open a container shop on your street corner. That is reserved for Ghanaians. And so that's the only restricted area. But otherwise, everywhere else, anybody who has foreign direct investment is welcome to bring their investments into Ghana.
Thank you very much, His Excellency. We'll take the third round of questions. Oh my God, a sea of hands. Let's go to my right-hand side. Thank you, sir. Please state your name.
My name is Kweku Adams. I'm Associate Professor at the University of Bradford. I represent the Ghana Scholarly Society as the president. There are a lot of scholars overseas that do great research that do not get used, do not get unnoticed. I want to find out how much is the president willing to work with the societies, scholars who are doing research, cutting-edge research in solar energy, land reclamation, blockchain technology that we can use. Is there a budget to support some of these activities or research that we do so that we can together inform policy going forward? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll take one from the back and then we'll go upstairs. Who has the microphone at the back? You have it, sir.
Yes.
For
Mr. President.
1 second, sir. For those holding the microphones, please, let's have some gender balance here because you're just handing it over to the men. Please, some gender balance. Thank you. You have the floor, sir.
Yeah. Mr. President, thank you for your service.
There are two ladies in the...
to Mother Ghana.
Okay, sir.
My name is Kwesi Busumbru, founder of PAP, People's Action Party. My question to you is about Akosomo Dam. The dam was built between 1961 and 1965. We are now running, it was 1,000 megawatts, but right now we're using 2 turbines generating less than 200 kilowatts. We have the biggest dam from Ethiopia, the Renaissance Dam, that cost 5 billion to build. And they have 16 turbines that is supplying all over Eastern Africa and the Horn of Africa. My question is, during your speech, you made mention of the fact that you've just paid 1.5 billion of debt by the previous government on electricity. So if Ethiopia used 5 billion to build 16 turbines, that is giving them 5,000 megawatts of power, which is something that they don't have to do anything of buying crude oil or gas to power their generation for the next 50 years. Akosomo Dam is over 50 years old. And most dams, when they are 50, it's either you blow it out and build a new one or, find the alternative. But the alternative we have in Ghana about gas and light crude oil, I think is past itself by the respectfully. What are you going to do about maybe learning a thing or two from Ethiopia?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your question. 1 second. There are 2 ladies in the middle. I'll choose one of them can have the microphone. The one with the fan. Kindly hand the microphone over to the lady with the fan. Thank you.
Hi,
I'll come to the left in a second. You have the floor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and our dignitaries. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Yvonne Lawson, MBE, a founder at the Godwin Lawson Foundation. Youth crime and knife crime is very, very prevalent in our community. We know most young people have died in our communities, especially our young black boys, through knife crime. As a campaigner, we know there are lots of issues, root causes to these issues. Root causes such as school exclusion, lack of opportunities, and lack of employment. I would like to know from Mr. President what your policies will be to support organizations like ourselves to ensure that our children in the UK remain safe.
Thank you for your question. Thank you. We'll take one from upstairs, and then our High Commissioner will take one as well. Well, she'll respond. She'll answer the question. If we can have a lady from upstairs. Yes, please. So our High Commissioner will respond to the last question that was just asked.
Actually, I thought that question would be directed to the mayor and the MP.
Thank you.
How to protect our children from youth crime? Yeah, we hear about it and we feel very saddened. I mean, there are all these knife stabbings and things, and I think it's unfortunate. You diagnosed it yourself. You said exclusion, opportunity, and things like that. So I think that those are issues addressed within UK. Every country has its peculiarities. We also have issues with youth crime, but they don't, I don't think stabbing and things are predominant, but we also have issues with drug addiction and things like that, yes. Okay, so I thought you had somebody up there.
Let's take upstairs. There's a lady that had a microphone upstairs. Please go for it. You have the floor. Please speak up. Your name and your question. Please be brief. Okay, let's move downstairs. Please hand the microphone to our uncle over there. Yes, yes, please, yes. You have the floor, uncle.
Which of them?
My name is Ade Sawyer. I'm retired now, but I remain a community activist. I have some concerns, too, but I would ask one question, and I will let the president take the concerns away. I'm happy that the High Commissioner has invited us to this meeting to come and engage with the leader of our country. I've listened to some of the ministers, and whilst it looks like the metrics are going in the right direction, the optics do not look very good. Every year, there's perennial flooding. We have not been able to solve that problem in the city of Accra, our main city. Every weekend, we see on TikTok the ministers at parties, instead of being with their constituents, they are talking to each other, blowing time. It does not look good, Mr. President. Please tell them that at weekends, they should go back to their constituents and find out what it is that the people of Ghana need.
Thank you very much for your question.
And now my concern.
Uncle,
up to last week, we had a perfectly legal system that criminalized people with homosexuals. We have now that we are bringing on another law, which is a total distraction.
Uncle, please come to your question, or else we'll have to cut you. We're running out of time.
Everywhere you go from now,
please ask your question.
Ask you about the LGBT bill and why we needed it.
Thank you very much.
I wish you well.
Thank you very much, Uncle. Thank you. We'll go back upstairs very quickly. If you're ready upstairs, we'll take your question, or else we'll have to come back down. You have the floor. You have the floor, ma'am. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam. Thank you, Mr. President. My question is very brief. I have a registered business, and I am planning to undergo land reclamation and restoration. I want to ask whether I would have any support from the government, because I'm going to be starting as a starter and on a low scale, then I'll move on to a large scale. That is my plan, and I would like to know.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. We'll come to our Nananom for one more question before our president takes.
Good evening, Your Excellency. Madam, I'm
Please
here.
hold on. Please hold on.
Let me get her question.
Please.
Let me get her question again. You say you want to do land reclamation. For what purpose? You want to do a palm plantation, or what do you want to do? I can't hear you.
Please hand her the mic. Thank you.
I want to undergo land reclamation to restore the illicit mining site into a better land in the foreseeable future. Then I would want to know if I would have or get any support from the government, because it's very important for us to restore the lands that had been destroyed so far as a result of Galamsey.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll take one question from Nananom. Thank you.
Mr. President and State Ministers, we welcome you all back to the UK. During your speech and that of the minister, you made an assertion that we have a lot of people in diaspora putting a lot of money into the Ghanaian economy. We have been here, we've produced professionals, so much so that we are also here giving birth to our children and nurturing them here. The problem we have is we've had the situation where our children are being cultured by the Western culture. The question I have here is, the London Progressive, which is an association of all the institute chiefs and kings over here. Actually, my name is Nana Ajeni. I am the Jasehine of Asante Grabe Nkrumah, and also the Assistant Secretary for London Progressive UK. Our question is this: whilst we grow our children here and we're trying to integrate our culture into their living, we are trying to ask the government, is there any chance that the government can either partner with the traditional leaders in the UK in securing a community center just for Ghanaians? Because whilst we meet to do our Deba, while we meet to do our traditional festivals, we do so in the corridors of private hired places. I think it's about time the Ghanaians can call one of our own. So we want to see if we can partner with the government.
Please round up your question.
The government can help us.
Thank you very much, Nana. Thank you. We'll give the President the opportunity to respond to those rounds of questions. Please, you have the floor, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. I guess the first question was about research and how we integrate research into our economic progress. It's something that we've been dealing with. Recently, I had a meeting with the CSIR, which is the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. And the main discussion we had is how to take those research findings on their shelves and commercialize them. And so the Minister of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry has linked the CSIR with industry. There are some successful researchers that have carried over into commercialization. For instance, if you wanted to eat fufu, you had to go and get a pestle and a mortar and pound it. Today, many of you just take a bowl, you pour the plantain fufu powder, and then you mix it, and then you get tasty fufu to eat. So that is a successful example of research, that has transitioned into commercial use. There are several other such. For instance, our CSIR have done research that have found a black-eyed pea, which is the beans we use for yokegari. One of the major problems with that black-eyed pea was infestation with weevils. They've got a bean that is resistant to the borer that bores into the bean. And so that is being commercialized. Farmers are being given the new beans for trials, and if it's successful, then they will upscale it so that everybody can benefit. Those are successful examples, but everyday research is being carried out, and I do believe that we have the will to be able to move that research into commercial production. Let me make a correction. Akosombo is not running only 2 turbines. Akosombo is running all the 6 turbines. There are 6 turbines, and it produces 1,020 megawatts of power. If you were following what happened recently, we had an explosion of the switch control room, and all the turbines got shut down. And as our engineers worked to bypass the control room, we kept announcing that turbine 1 has come back on stream, turbine 2 has come back on stream, turbine 3 has come back on stream. Indeed, when I visited them, turbine 4 was back, And by the next day, turbine 5 and 6 had all come back. So Akosombo is running at full capacity. And your dam can only be as large as your water supply. Ethiopia's dam is on the Nile, which is one of the biggest rivers in Africa. And so Akosombo cannot produce 5,000 megawatts of water with the volume of water we have in the Volta Lake. And that's why we've repeated and done other dams along the same Volta. So if you go to the Black Volta, we've set up the Bui Dam, which produces almost 300 megawatts of power. Then if you go downstream Akosombo, we have the Kpong Dam, which also produces about 130, 150 megawatts of power. So we're using the same water 3 times already. And so you can't blow up Akosombo and put a 5,000 megawatt dam there, unfortunately, because the volume of water does not sustain a 5,000 megawatt dam. The issue of youth crime, I think I'll leave to the mayor. Later you can find time and consult your mayor and your councillor and find out what you're doing within your borough to keep our children safe. But like I said, it's a matter of worry. You know, the stabbings we hear. I mean, I think a year ago or two, a young Ghanaian girl was stabbed, you know, and it really is a matter of worry. And so I cannot give a prescription for that. With regards to flooding, the flooding in Accra is not an engineering problem. It is just a problem of indiscipline. It's not an engineering problem, it's a problem of indiscipline. We have drains, and everybody says, why don't you do sealed drains? But the problem is when we do sealed drains, people drink sachet water, they eat papaya in those styrofoam plastics, and they just dump them anywhere. And these plastics wash into the drain, and they go and block the drain. And so if you have to unclog the drain, you have to remove all the drain covers and clean it out. You clean it out, you cover it again. In the next 3, 4, 5 months, they have clogged again. But that is not even the major problem. The major problem is the location of Accra. You have the Kwapim Mountain Range, and you have the Atlantic Ocean. Before people came to Accra, you had the Lafa Stream, you had the Densu, you had the Sakumo Stream, you had the Kole Stream, you had the Odo Stream. All of them were rainwater that falls in the mountains that flow through to the Atlantic Ocean. Then you come and build a city in the path of those streams. What do you expect the streams to do? And even if you build, leave the causeways. If you come to London, you see the canals in the city. If you go and build a house in that canal, where will the water go? It will go back into people's houses. Unfortunately, Nana Misremu, our traditional rulers are selling plots in streams. It's not this Nana Numa I'm talking about. We have places they call Ramsar sites. These Ramsar sites are wetlands. And they say that migratory birds come from Europe during the winter. They come and spend vacation with us in Africa. Then when they finish the vacation and it's summer, they fly back. And they decided to protect the Ramsar sites because of the migratory birds. But let me tell you what the Ramsar sites do. They are wetlands. So when they receive the water from the Kwapim Mountain Range, the Ramsar sites are huge wetlands. So they absorb the water into the wetlands and discharge the water gradually into the ocean. So if you build and you fill and build, you fill and build, you fill and build, you are reducing the size of the Ramsar site, of the wetland. And so when the water comes, what is left cannot contain the water. And so it will overflow and flood people's houses. I've seen from the air, helicopter, a stream coming from the Kwapim range, and then it reaches somewhere and they've built across it. And so the stream has nowhere to continue. So it will flood your houses and flood houses of people behind. Now, when government takes action and begins breaking people's houses out of the waterway, the same people will say, hey, hey, that's our problem. And part of the problem is the local councils and the assemblies. Unfortunately, our councils are not working as good as yours. You will find a house in a waterway and somebody signed a building permit for them to build there. Look at the Wager Dam. The Wager Dam provides about 30-40% of Accra's water. It has a spillway, and every year when it rains, the water reaches a level. And when it reaches that level, they have to open the spillway, otherwise it can break the dam and cause destruction downstream. In the dry season, these same traditional rulers and Shikong Cheme, owners of land, will sell land to people in the spillway of the Wager Dam. And so you start building, and then when the rains come and they open the spillway, your house is flooded with water. And he says, why isn't government doing anything about the flooding problem? It's because you went and built in a place you shouldn't have built. And so we need, one, to punish those who signed the permits for that. And so the district chief executives, I told the Minister of Local Government, we should find out who are signing the permits for people to build in these waterways. And my minister misspoke. She said we'll transfer them to the north. We're not transferring them to the north, we're sacking them. So that it serves as a deterrent. Otherwise, we'll continue to have this problem. And we must have the hard heart to remove those houses that are blocking the waterways. And so if you see demolitions going on and other things, it's to protect the property of everybody. And then, after blowing time, I don't know which ministers you are referring to. They say you guys are blowing time instead of working. The ministers I know are working very hard. I've seen occasionally, maybe on their birthday, they bring a cake to the office, and then for a few minutes, everybody cuts the cake, and then they go back to work. But I haven't seen anybody throw an ostentatious party, because I told all of them I'm watching them. And I haven't yet put on record anybody who has blown time and ostentation. With land reclamation, you would have to talk to the Gold Board. We have started some land reclamation, and we worked with Newmont, and the first 800 hectares of land has been reclaimed, and we're going to plant oil palm on it. And so Gold Board and the Lands Ministry, Environmental Protection Agency are collaborating to reclaim mined out lands. It is a very expensive venture. So if you say you're going to reclaim 86 mine sites, I don't know how you're going to do that, because the kind of equipment you need to reclaim 86 mine sites goes beyond the private venture. It's government that must put the resources in, and the mining companies have to also put resources in. And so that's why we started with the Newmont example, and it's going to be scaled up so that all the other companies, Goldfields and all the other companies also put money in so that we can reclaim the lands. But in order to make it sustainable, we are thinking of introducing a reclamation bond for small-scale mining industries. We have it for large scale, but we don't have it for small scale. You have to put a portion of your profit into a fund so that when you finish mining, if you don't reclaim the land, we will use that fund to pay contractors to come and level the land and then plant palm oil palm on it. Nana, with the community center, I beg you. I don't think Atu will give me the money to come and do it. If you yourselves contribute and you need some help, then you can appeal, and then we'll see how we can help. But for us to come and acquire a community center is going to be difficult. Because then after that, Germany will also ask. Then Switzerland will ask. Then Boston will ask. Then Philadelphia will ask. And everybody will ask. So you do self-help. And if you gather some money and you think we should contribute, then we can see what to do to assist. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for answering those questions so openly and so frankly as well. I can actually feel a new KPI coming up for the Lands Minister. If there's anything I love about His Excellency, it's his zero tolerance for non-accountability. I think that deserves a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, Bunny, I'm supposed to. This is right here.
Okay, our president is signing your book, young lady. Your wish has been duly granted. That brings us, sadly, to the end of our questions, ladies and gentlemen. I know you've got 1,000,001 questions to ask, but unfortunately, we won't be able to take all the questions. Some of the all of the questions, I'm sure you can direct to the Ghana High Commission. They'll be happy, more than happy to take that. On that note, okay, President is signing another one. Please direct your questions to the Ghana High Commission. I feel a local town hall with Her Excellency Sabazito Benson coming up soon to address the rest of the questions that you've got. So please keep those questions, and thank you for your insightful questions. Thank you to the President for being so open and honest with us in his responses as well, for listening to us. Mr. President, thank you very much. Thank you so much for answering our questions. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this grand event you've seen here today would not have been possible without support from our sponsors. So let's take a moment to acknowledge our sponsors. And while we do that, let's enjoy some music from Saxman Ellis. Thank you very much, Saxman Ellis. A round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Can I please respectfully ask that we take our seats, because we have not yet come to the end of the program. Respectfully, kindly take your seats. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I would now like to call on the Deputy Head of Chancery. The Deputy Head of Mission at the Ghana High Commission, Mr. Aquinas Kwanzaa, to give us the vote of thanks. Kindly take your seats, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, honorable ministers here present, leaders of the Ghanaian community, Nime, Naime, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor as a Deputy High Commissioner of the Republic of Ghana to deliver this vote of thanks. Your Excellency, permit me to express our profound appreciation for making time to engage with Ghanaians residents in the United Kingdom and its environs. This town hall meeting brings most of us together as one big family. Your presence here today and the candid exchange of views we have witnessed reaffirm your commitment to inclusive governance and your desire to maintain a strong connection with the Ghanaian diaspora. We are grateful for your insights you have shared on government vision, achievements, and plans for our nation. We are equally appreciative of the opportunity given to members of the Ghanaian community to express their views and concerns in a spirit of mutual respect and patriotism. I wish also to thank the ministers, government officials, community leaders, Nime and Naime, and all those whose hard work and dedication contributed to the success of this gathering. To our Ghanaian in the United Kingdom, thank you for your participation and continued contribution to the development and international image of our beloved country. Your Excellency, Mr. President, we assure you of our continued support in advancing the interest of Ghana and strengthening the bonds between our nation and its diaspora. On behalf of the Ghana High Commission in London, I thank you once again and wish you and your delegation a pleasant and successful stay in the United Kingdom. God bless you, Your Excellency, and God bless our homeland, Ghana, and God bless us all. Thank you very much.
So it's been an hour, riding with you. If you made it to this point, I must say you are a true fan. Yeah, you're a true fan. Not my fan per se, but you're a true fan of Africa. You're a true fan of Ghana. You're a true fan of true development. Kudos to you. And I must say, John Mahama is a very good and loving president. Imagine the applause he received, because of his time and dedication, to explain some of these things to the fullest. Not just that, he went ahead and do question and answers, where he answers some people's questions, interesting question, and also discuss on the key issues, concerning migration. So Ghana, I must say, Ghanaians are very lucky. They are very lucky, to have John Mahama as a president. How I wish Nigeria. Only if Nigeria could have a president who can just come to us and answer our question, we'll be okay, we'll be happy. But then that's by the way, that's by the way. I'm so happy to Ghana. Ghana is definitely building their country to the best standard, and I believe very soon, everybody will be rushing to be in Ghana with what John Mahama is doing, key policies he's implementing, returning gold mine in back home, no more raw material exports, implementing key policies that will result into development of Ghana. That's very necessary, and it shows that Ghana is ready, fully ready for development, and kudos to John Mahama for that. Okay, guys, what do you think about the whole thing? Drop your opinion in the comment section, and if you have not subscribed, subscribe and follow, and give the video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.